home from my job. Yeah, hopefully the Wi-Fi will stay connected. Uh, okay, hopefully the Wi-Fi stays on. Just had to find the sweet spot. Anyways, wait till a few more people come in. Hey, Phyllis. Thank you. I got all three at Dollar Tree. They do. I also have a taller Sackle Shackle one I got from a place called Five Below. They have a bunch more. I've never found the lower chakras at Dollar Tree, which is weird. It's all heart and above. The Five Below has root, sacral, and crown, I think, right now. I'm waiting for a few more people to join to talk about the divine timing and synchronicities that happened today. Amethyst necklace. I don't know if Salviadora does necklaces. I know he has crystals and everything as part of his thing, but I'm not sure if he makes necklaces. That's Eat, Read, Love. Saltwater Heels Tarot does bracelets. Her bracelets are amazing. I don't know if she has one that's amethyst right now. She just moved, so she's just now getting back into charging them up and sending out the ones that she was working on. But I'll put feelers out if I see anything. I have a bunch of stuff in storage that I could make jewelry out of, but that's all the way down in South Carolina, and I would need a car and a couple days off just to get stuff. but I was thinking of making that eventually when I get into storage again. So, yeah, you're welcome, hon. Definitely, want to support other people in the community, so if I find something, I'll post a link. I'll put it as the comment or edit the description. Oh, we're in Virginia. Yep, you definitely gotta do that. No, not familiar with that area. My ex used to spend quite a bit of time around Langley, though, so. Not anymore, thank God. You found it! Hang on. Okay. Yeah, I try to invite everybody before I get started, before there's anyone in to notice. I had an interesting day today. That's why I decided to put up a topic. Hello, dear. So, yeah, my day was quite interesting. After I got home from work, I said, okay, today is the day I file and all this other stuff. It was way more involved than I expected it to be. I thought, okay, drop off the paperwork, pay for it, and be done. Nope. Had to go look up stuff and get the paperwork, print off more papers to send with it, and then mail the papers down to them. I thought they were going to take care of it, but managed to get everything done. And sounds like there's not going to be any hassle, so at least that part will go well. Now it's just a matter of waiting for him to sign for it and to file on his end. And hopefully it'll go through quickly. And I know it's Mercury retrograde, but this is an ending, and Mercury retrograde's good for that. So, yeah. There's more papers to file. Like, I have to go back to the Prothonotary with a paper that says, yes, this is when I sent it, and all this other information. There's one, we proceed. Now, if he ignores it, we have to do some other crap. But he knows about it. He can't really ignore it. I mean, we told him. I mean, she does have premonitions, so. But I'm surprised nobody suggested beforehand, you know? It has been a long time. It's been almost 10 years. So, doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I've had several chaotic years. Lots of learning, growing, changes, chaos, drama, etc. But yeah, I mean, that's just how my life is. It hasn't been calm and boring, that's for sure. But the funny thing about today, and this is the whole divine timing thing, it's just how it worked out for my days off and when all the paychecks lined up that I could afford to do this, is if you go by the numerology of the day, oh, I hear thunder in the background. It's gonna rain again. It started raining earlier. But the numerology of the day we got married was an 11. And today's numerology added up to 29, which is an 11. And then when I looked at the timestamp for when they filed it, it was 10:12 in the morning, and the day we had gotten married was 10:12. How fucking weird is that synchronicity? Like, it just happened to line up all the little side trips I had to make in order to get this done, looking up when he moved out and all this other stuff that they had to know. And it ended up being 10:12. I was just like, wow. So yeah, by the time it's official, it'll have been 10 years since we got married. Or since, it was coming up in readings October. And my mother was so adamant that I had gotten married in April. I'm like, you're mixing it up with his birthday. Like, it was when my daughter was a couple months old. So, yeah. That weirdness. I told Jay, I'm like, oh, it's done. It's filed. And, okay, great, yes, I want to see you, but you haven't slept yet. And it was like, I don't know, when my mother left, it was about 3 o'clock for work, and I had not been to sleep yet. He's like, go to bed. So, I eventually did. Like, I didn't stay asleep. I kept waking up. And then finally passed out for a few hours. And then woke up at 11. Sore as hell. I didn't even do anything to be sore as hell. So, I don't know. My back was killing me. Oh yeah, I had to run around all kinds of places. I did go to 2 different buildings back and forth because when I got there, they're like, yeah, you need to go back over to the other building, look up the date. We can't do it here. And then went back over. Then after I was done there, I had to go to Staples, print out 3 new papers, 2 of them for me to turn in and 1 to send with it. And then to the post office to get it sent down to them. Certified mail. So that was fun. But, without having a second job, it would have been a lot longer to wait to do this. Because that was just over $200. Hopefully that's all I have to pay now. So I was off today, and I was going to do a reading, but I didn't get up until like 11. So I better do live, and then once that, I've been on live for a little bit, then I'm going to stop and do hers. But I'm off again Sunday. I work tomorrow night, or tonight, technically. So I'm off Sunday, so I'll be doing stuff Sunday too. And I don't have to worry about not sleeping or anything today because it's only 1 shift. But next week's gonna be hell because I have several days straight working down there, plus 3 shifts with Lowe's. And in a couple days, I'm only gonna get a couple hours sleep before starting over again. Hopefully I survive. But there's a new person being trained as a floater, so if I have to call off because I'm just too damn exhausted, it's not gonna really overly burden them because there'll still be 3 people there. Like, 4 is a bit excessive for this place because there's only like 28 people total on our side. And I used to work with 2 people on a shift at night for, 40, and most of them needed way more help than what's needed here. So I'm not too concerned. And I realized, like, when I'm in school, it's not going to be a big deal keeping this one because I can do my homework and all that stuff while I'm there. It's just I won't have Wi-Fi there. They changed the password and nobody knows it. So I have to figure something out, but I have unlimited data. I have my own phone line now. Split it off from my mother's because to get unlimited data it would have been like $200. So she split it off, and now I have unlimited data on my phone. So that'll be good at least. Yep, 3 crows. What was it? Not last night. The other night, and then 2 today. But I always see crows coming back from work. Because it's like farmland out there. And every time I pass by them, I'm like, hi. And it's kind of funny when I got the money. Yep, that's what I was thinking. When I finally had the money and just had to pull it out in cash. That morning I saw the 3. I'm like, yep, divine timing. Everything lined up. Yeah, I mean, I even say hi to other animals, but I make sure to greet them. I mean, I've never had a problem with them. My mother just can't stand them because they got in her garbage. I'm like, well, I mean, they have to eat. We waste a lot of food. Maybe if you weren't wasting so much food, they wouldn't get into your garbage. I don't know. That's just me. Like, I understand how the world works. Which reminds me, I was watching Ubasti's Per do some oracle readings and got distracted and forgot my food was in the oven, so it got mostly burnt, but I was potato skins, so there's not much you can do to burn them beyond just the top. And burnt cheese tastes good, so that's whatever. But some of the skin is really, really hard, so I think I'll stick it out for my coons. I know they appreciate anything that gets stuck out there, except for marshmallows, which is odd. You'd think they'd like the marshmallows because pet raccoons seem to like marshmallows, so I don't know if it's a junk food thing. They're just like, marshmallows? Really? But yeah, the only animal I'm having issues with is these damn Japanese beetles. They've left the one near the garage alone. Haven't seen them on there since I did a couple treatments on it. But they're still going after the rose that's in a pot, and the basil, and occasionally my mother's daisies still. But it's like the basil, the regular basil, and my blue girl rose. And they will not leave those alone every day, and they're so strong with their little spiky legs hanging on to stuff that I have to like flick them off. But there is new growth on the blue girl, so she hasn't completely given up. But I thought, well, maybe the reason why they're going after her is she needs more fertilizer in the soil. So I put rose food in there, hoping that at least helps her recover, you know? It's not like a huge horde of them, it's just one or two every day. But those can do enough damage. The basil seems to be like every other day. Yeah, that was the next thing. And Abasti said use vinegar. Spray with the diluted vinegar. Which, can kill the blooms, but if I'm putting in fertilizer, then it should balance out. But, I keep apologizing to the rose. I'm like, I'm sorry they're eating you. Please don't die on me. But I see a little bit of new growth here and there, especially where I pruned the dead leaves off. I see new sprouts coming, so hopefully once those take off, I can prune the other stuff that is eaten. Pretty much, there's not a single leaf that doesn't have a hole in it right now. But I can't prune off every single leaf. Still need some to grow. I just have to wait until enough new ones come out. Yeah, I feel bad. It can't feel good to have your leaves eaten. I understand that roses are delicious to bugs, but come on. Go eat the neighbor's flowers. I'm sure they're delicious too. Like, they aren't going after marigolds. I don't understand. I mean, marigolds we can eat. and they taste good. So, I don't know why they don't like them. I wish it would go after the people that wanted me to take down my bird feeder. Like, go there. Go eat their plants. Because I'm pretty sure if I was still feeding the birds, they'd be going after these beetles too. They'd probably mostly ignore the seed and go after the beetles. But since they're not around much anymore, you know, the stuff is taken off. But that's alright. I'll eventually be able to handle the invasion without, you know, losing anything. It's just, I understand they gotta eat, yeah, but let's strike a little compromise. Don't eat the entire damn plant. And leave the blooms alone. Like, go ahead and munch on a few leaves, but leave the blooms alone. I guess the rose petals are delicious. But they really like the basil, the regular basil too. The purple basil, they're pretty much leaving alone though. It's kind of funny. Like, it's literally right beside it. And the purple basil is literally right beside the regular basil, and there's like maybe a couple holes. But I guess it's because it's spicy. I pulled out my, what is it? I haven't seen it in a while, so it's Wisdom Oracle cards. I have not used them in a while, but for some reason I needed to pick them up. Let's slide those back. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm gonna find stuff to prop these up with. Yep, let me adjust the camera. That might be too much. Yeah, that works. No, I didn't get the guidebook with these because they're bootleg off of Wish. So we'll just have to go with the intuition. I'm hoping they read normally because my Egyptian one reads funny during Mercury retrograde. Discovered that, and I think it's an interesting feature. It's just like, oh, wait, you want me to say what? I mean, they were very clear about reading them differently. They're just like, by the way, right now, this means this instead. I'm like, okay. Because it's almost like a reversal, but not really. Like, instead of advice, it's like, don't do this. Or this is what you're coming off as. Like, it was weird. Yang. I can't see it. There's like a dead light bulb, which I'm not feeling like climbing up and changing. Hey, King. I think you're a new visitor. So, Ange, you got Yang. Oh, like the first one hit my Mercury, and then the one a couple days ago hit my Mars and Sun. So, I mean, not in a bad way. Hi, Ruth. That was my grandmother's name. So, yeah. Can't really see it, but yeah, that's Yang. Yes, I hit 100 something subscribers, and they sent me a congratulations letter. I'm like, oh, cool. Considering how many people have like thousands upon thousands, that they congratulate the people they hit 100. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Nice to be encouraged. Let's see if there's anything else for you, Ange. So yeah, where's the Yang coming from? That divine counterpart thing. Or, being balanced. King, I got those at Dollar Tree. They just have like heart chakra and above, but a place called Five Below has most of the chakras. It just depends on your store. Mine has a random selection right now. Those cost more, but they're also like 5 times taller. Yeah, I got that one too. Earlier, I got, when I was asking about my partner, Orphaned and Not For You. So it's like, no, this is about him. I'm like, okay, yeah, I asked about him, but, like, I think it's really hitting home how, the way his parents are and the way this couple is that he's living with now that took him in. A huge difference. And he finally met his kids. And that went well, but it was really, kind of draining on him. Like, his dad showed up for that, but he wasn't directly involved, but he showed up. Like, I know they set that up to try to fuck with him. But, he knew as soon as he saw him, he's like, alright, so they're trying to fuck with me. I'm not gonna let it get to me. Yeah, they are a little bit. I thought, maybe. I even had like a 5-minute spat. He's like, no, you need to get some sleep. We're not even like discussing this right now. I'm like, but I'm off today. Yeah, get some sleep. Like, but, and your mother's off at work. I'm like, yeah, perfect, but no. He's very adamant about not being alone together until I am completely legally free. It's like, but, I don't know. Like, I got nervous, he got nervous today. It's weird. Yeah, sure, King. Using Wisdom Oracle tonight. I forget who makes it. It's not on the box because they're bootleg. But they work. They still work. Yeah, and that's why I was just kind of like, I'm not gonna get all overly weird. I still have fears and doubts, which I know is stupid. Like, I've been getting so many confirmations, like, the one reader I watch, Gemstone Tarot, she's been using her Greek deck for, like, a week now or something. She's like, normally I switch out, but I just feel drawn to keep using it. I'm like, okay, that's part of the signs, but, you know, I'm still sitting here like, well, what if he doesn't ever show up and all this other shit, which, you know, come on. It's like, dude, I filed. You said you'd come see me. Yeah, but you need sleep. I'm like, but I don't care about sleep. I just want to see you. It's like, yeah, you need to take better care of yourself. You're gonna get so run down next week. I'm like, but still. Oh, come on, let's have something for King. One card, not the entire deck. Thank you. To be fair. Ah, God, we can't see these. There we go. Can kind of see it. To be fair. On this one, that's funny. Like, there's this queen with 4 arms, and it kind of looks like a wedding dress. There's like a banner at the top, clouds, looks like sunset, and there's an owl on her head. And the owl's like the symbol of Athens and Athena. So, like, could be justice, could be balance, could be realizing that there's something toxic in your life that needs cut out. Could be any number of things. Definitely wisdom. Like, you have to treat yourself well. This thunder in the background is just like not moving. I wish it would just get it over with. It was raining earlier, but no, it's just thundering randomly. Like, are we gonna rain, or are we just gonna sit there and threaten? Thor throwing a temper tantrum and some shit. Oh, shit. I should have looked at the numbers. Forgot there's numbers on them. No, I can't find that damn thing. Oh, Yang is one card one, and to be fair is 38, so 11. Comes down to 11. Very 11-y today. We even got food at Arby's, and it was a penny shy of 11.11. And when I printed off these papers at Staples, it was 11 cents plus, then the tax and the whatever fee ended up being 13, which is my number. But yeah, the 11, it was kind of funny. I should have just printed them all off as one job and saved a few cents in tax, but it's alright. You're welcome, King. But yeah, earlier today, yeah, like, it's almost divine timing. Like, almost. But earlier today, normally I do pretty well in my trivia game, and I make like 8,000 coins a day at least. And then there's ones where you take a chance, you pick one of three. If you get the right one, then you make a bunch of coins. But if you pick the wrong one, it ends up costing you coins to open it up again the next time. And I've been like losing several days worth because I keep picking the wrong one for this one that you could win up to 100,000 coins, which is actually a few dollars all by itself. But if you get it wrong, it costs you 7,000 to open the next one. So you can actually lose coins from it. And I've been losing them, but today, whenever I processed all of them, the number left in my balance was 555. And I was like, oh my god. It was so appropriate, too. So there's definitely a huge, huge change today. So, it's interesting. I mean, I'm used to seeing angel numbers everywhere, constantly. I mean, once you start paying attention to them, you're going to see them more. Because they know you're paying attention. They're like, okay, we can send her more messages this way. And sometimes I'm just like, why do you just keep, like there'll be like two pairs of numbers. Like it'll be 4664 or something like that. And it's just like, why these two different pairs of numbers? And I don't know those as well as just the basic ones that are one repeating digit. I have to look it up, But it's kind of weird seeing those patterns. I see it almost constantly, so I don't even really pay that much attention. I'm just like, oh, okay, another angel number. Like, cool, I see ya. Yep, But, I saw quite a few today just running around, and then I also saw quite a few Fed vehicles crawling around. There was one parked, like, couple spaces from us at the courthouse, and I'm just like, you see that? You see that right there? It's like limo tint. That's not legal here. So obviously has to be a Fed. And we're talking like the front and everything tinted. Not like back windows. That's perfectly fine. It's when the front windows are tinted that you're not allowed to have front windows tinted here. Like, you can get straight up pulled over and fined for having too dark tint in this state. My dad was a cop, and he had a secondhand car that had been tinted post factory, and people would complain because, like, oh, well, are you above the law? It's so stupid. Like, it's really stupid. And it's like, well, it actually would cost more to replace the glass than I have. It's just fair, so, you know, it's whatever. So you drive around with your windows down. Yeah. 1144, haven't seen it yet. It's funny that 911, that, because, you know, I have a 9 or an 11. That's both Roman numerals on my arm. But that also links up with a past life. I was in Legion 11 as a Roman soldier. Like, it hit me the one day. I'm like, oh, that's what that was. Like, out of nowhere, I wasn't seeing anything about Roman soldiers or anything like that. It just, out of nowhere, I just got the insight. It's like, by the way, this is why you felt compelled to put an 11 in Roman numerals on your arm. And I'm just like, oh, good to know. Like, apparently they were getting tired of me not figuring it out. Like, you know what? Let's just give her an answer. Wasn't even thinking about it. And they're just like, yeah. That number that, you know, you've had on you for years now, this is why you got it. It's the real reason. Because I'm like, every time people would ask why, I told them there's numerology behind it, which is true. But the whole reason that I insisted on having it being Roman numerals, like, other than the fact it can be read both ways, depending on your perspective, is like, no, I was going to do the 1111. But it's like, no, Roman numerals. I'm like, why? So now I know. I mean, I knew I was a Roman soldier, but I didn't realize it was that era, which they weren't supposed to be in Egypt, but apparently I went to Egypt to escape. Like, screw this, I'm gonna abandon them and just fucking go AWOL and say, hide me, I don't want to do this shit anymore. So, that stuff. And then another friend was saying something about seeing me in, like, Puritan times. It was funny, I would make jokes about the Virgo Venus he has, and it's just like, dude, you're like a Puritan. He's really, really adamant about, you know, making sure there's no adultery going on legally speaking. I mean, if you haven't spoken to your ex in years, obviously there's no emotional ties. There's really no energetic ties other than what is inherent in having children together, but you can't do anything about that. Like, there's no ties except for the whole legal thing, which, honestly, once you don't speak to a person, don't live with them for years, I mean, it should be an automatic annulment. Like, just like they used to automatically consider you married after living together 7 years, if you live apart and don't speak for 7 years, that should be automatically annulment, you know? Why shouldn't it go both ways? Because they want to make money off of it, that's why. But they don't make money off of, common law marriage. So, why even bother? I mean, I think most places that that doesn't count anymore legally. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the second the soul that I married walked out of the body, it should have been considered annulled, but it doesn't work that way. They don't see things that way. Try explaining, he's literally not the person I married. You know, people say that, but most of the time they don't mean that. It's just they finally discovered what the true person's like. But he walked out of his body and a new one walked in. There's literally nothing there connecting us now. At least not to the body. I mean, genetically, obviously the kids, but you know, they're perfectly aware of the situation. They know that that's not really him. They may not have put it in so many words, but they understand on a soul level that that's not really the man that fathered them. Like, it's just placeholder in the body. I mean, I don't know what the purpose of it is, keeping the body alive, but like, there's nothing bad as I can tell. But I don't know. I haven't figured out, but it's a very emotionally detached soul that walked in, which is not that far removed from a more extreme version of what he has of Asperger's. But I mean, he had plenty of emotions when he was with me, but that just kind of, you know, obviously that changed. So when he walked out, this other thing came in, and I don't know what it is, what the purpose is, but it's very cold and detached, but also clings to some very weird illusions. Like thinking an ex is actually a famous person when they look nothing alike, and the ex could not sing, and this famous person is a singer. Like, no. It's just a very, very bizarre situation. And then, you know, I woke up and my mother's like, oh, so what day was this? And I'm like, honestly, it does not matter. The only time it mattered was today when I had to write it on the paper. It's done and over with, let it go. You know, she still follows my first ex-husband on his Facebook. And like, occasionally she's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't care. I stopped caring years and years and years ago. I don't know why you care. And I'm just like, I only want to know if he retires or dies. Because then I get my share of his pension. I don't know what it is with her, but she's like, look, I'm letting go of the situation, and I don't want you to not let go of it because this is fucking stupid. It has nothing to do with you. I don't need any more reminders. I don't need to discuss this shit. Over is over. It's done with. Let it go. Stop bringing shit up that doesn't matter. I don't know why people do that. It's just maybe just to piss them off. Hey, let me bring up this completely irrelevant thing that you're letting go of. I don't know. Hey, Christina. How you doing tonight, hon? Was that you that donated stuff to Robin's Realms? Because she said Christina. I didn't know if she meant you or there was another Christina. Nice. I had a feeling it was you. That was awesome. Like, even just one of those things would have been great. That was so sweet of you. They're beautiful decks and beautiful stones. I said I can't wait to see her using that stuff, so set up a crystal grid and do readings with the new decks. I'll have to tune in. You know, one of my friends gave me that Egyptian tarot deck. It just no longer resonated with her, and as soon as I opened the package, it was just like they were like, "Oh, yay, it's you finally!" Like, it took forever to get them because there's just chaos in both our lives, but they were so happy to come here. Christina, you are sweet. You are absolutely sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, this is the friend I was talking about. 6 hours. I remember those days talking to people for hours and not even realizing it. Like, I used to have that with an ex that I just divorced. Like, in the very beginning, like, there's telepathy and all that other lovely stuff, and 4 days in a row. Oh my god. Yeah, didn't we talk about that, Christina? Do you know his signs? Well, sometimes they don't make sense, but then you just gotta, like. They're kind of like smartasses, like sarcastic, I guess. I know I've been talking to a lot of people like, oh, you're gonna be next going through the twin flame journey and shit. How's Queen? Past 4 days. The eclipse is hitting his Mercury somewhere. Some kind of an aspect. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, Queen, I had so much synchronicity today. Like I was saying earlier, I finally actually filed for divorce, got it paid for, got it sent down there for him to sign. The day we got married added up to an 11. Today's energy and added up to 29, which is 11. And then the timestamp that they put on my copy of the paper was 10/12, which is the same as the date we had gotten married. How's that for weird? And earlier today on my trivia game, I was down to 555 coins. And I was like, yes, I know. Transformative day. Mine told me that I had to get some damn sleep today. Like, he's like, why are you staying up so long? Go to sleep, stay on your normal schedule. I have to work tonight, and then I'm off Sunday. Run from cancer man. I have a few cancer friends. Did make friends with a cancer man, and he was very into the angel numbers thing. It was weird. Like, we had some awesome conversations about that, and suddenly he was like, nah, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm like, okay. The fuck? Like, nothing really happened. It's just, I was going through a lot of shit. And I guess he's just too sensitive, didn't want to see me suffering, so he didn't want to talk to me. I'm like, okay, this isn't your burden. You don't have to worry about it. I don't know. Oh boy, Aqua Rising. What's his Mercury? I think they're pretty much different with every sign. Oh boy. So you got, like, flipped. Your sun and risings are flipped. That's interesting. I'm sure there's something about that kind of synastry. Yeah, cancer friends that I have that are women are totally awesome, but, like, the cancer men, I'm just like, can you just not? Oh my god. Drama, and then some. Like, holy shit. Like, the one drag queen roommate I had was a cancer. Oh my god. Is he trying to show off? Oh, jeez. Water signs, period. Oh, God. Water sign men are just a hot mess all around. Gemini Mercury. Oh, Gemini Mercury. They like talk anyways. But, they're not going to be just talking to just anybody. Name dropping famous people. Oh. Yeah, he's totally showing off. Little bit. And mine still drinks a little bit with his, sort of brother. The guy that he rescued, that his family took him in. Like, they'll sit and drink it occasionally, but he doesn't get ridiculous fucking drunk anymore. It's like, you would think he would have some kind of unhealthy coping mechanism, but I guess therapy really, really worked. But I keep thinking, like, there's gotta be something. I don't know. Maybe the Virgo Venus keeps him from being super like self-destructive. I don't know. Like super judgmental of himself, but I guess that keeps him from being self-destructive in a way. And not just because it's a Virgo Venus, it's in an intercepted house. Or not intercepted house, intercepted sign. The two people that talk most that I know is an Aqua Sun and a Gemini Sun. OCD to good. I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm just like, that's gonna annoy the shit out of me because OCD people annoy me. And the universe is like, well, here you go. You've had to deal with that all your life. Here's another one. A little both. I pulled out my wisdom oracle cards. I haven't spoken to them in forever, so I just felt like pulling them out. Seven at night, or not 7. I should be home by 7, so I have to leave about 9:30 at night, my time. I'll make sure I have the notifications on. See, my mother's a Virgo, so it just gets on my damn nerves. Like, she's constantly doing stuff, but it's to the point where, like, she has thrown away vacation money when I was little just because she's so obsessed with throwing shit away, and then she, like, loses stuff. She throws stuff away that she needs, and she hasn't learned not to do that. And at this point, she won't. And I really, I pity the people if I have to put her in a home for, if her memory gets bad. She is going to drive people nuts. Oh, I am at work. Like, my North Node is in Virgo, and that's in the second house. So at work, I am so OCD. Like, I make my department look fucking perfect. And I'm pretty strict about following stuff. I've gotten more relaxed about things, but, if it's about straighten things up, oh my god, yeah, you can see the OCD. And it's funny, I have a Saturn retrograde in Virgo, which in Western it's in the first house, but it's so close. It's so close to the North Node. It's like one energy. Yeah, heavy energies like Capricorn Sun and then the Saturn retro in another Earth sign. Come on. The hell did I do? And my Jupiter is 12th house and retrograde too. Like, seriously, the fuck did I do to deserve this? Ugh. I thought I was gonna see mine today because he's like, yeah, I'll visit you when you file, but like I had been up for a while and he's like, no, go to bed. I'm like, same old fears and doubts springing up, He's like, oh my god, we're not arguing over this, just go to bed. And I kept waking up like for a little while, and then I finally passed out for like 5 hours when I finally settled down. But I mean, my mother was at work, so And I'm a hot mess right now because I've been working so much. I was just like, I really wouldn't want to go out in public anyways, and he's certainly not going to spend time with me in private without other people around. So, it would have been an issue. It's actually going better. Like, the tension, like, the weird energy from two of them is mostly gone, except for some miscommunication, which I'd chalk up to Mercury retrograde. And, there's like some nitpicky stuff. It's like, well, this method doesn't work all that well. At least I tried. So next time I'll do something different. But, I know that the fact that they're being nitpicky when they've worked with me before is really the universe testing me and seeing, am I going to be triggered by this shit? Or am I just going to be like, okay, whatever. I'll make note of the conversation and I'll, try something different to do better next time, but I'm not going to, get all in my feelings about it. But it felt a little dicey at first, Queen, would you like a card? But yeah, Christina's it's a little bit better. Adjusting better. Like, I spent more time on the top floor. That's really easy. Most people sleep all night. Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly concerned. I still haven't decided which one's gonna give whenever I start school. Like, I can do a lot of my homework at night there because there's a lot of free time where you're just sitting there waiting for someone to need something. But at the same time, that's gonna really screw with my sleep schedule because my classes start a couple hours after I'd get home from work, which doesn't give me enough time to sleep. And then I'd only have a few hours to sleep between that and my shift. Like, I'd have to come home from school and go right to bed. And it would not really give me enough sleep. So I might have to be like, yeah, just put me on the weekends, like Friday and Saturday nights down there, and then stick with doing part-time hours at Lowe's while I'm in class. It's the only way I can see making it work, although Lowe's would probably need me more on the weekends anyways, because they're more busy on weekends. Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is, like, I needed to get this divorce paid for, and then, thinking about getting a car, but unless my mother can co-sign on a personal loan and I can get something, I have to focus on the classes so that I get through that and do well. Because the better I do in this part, the better the master's program I can get into. So that has to take priority. But I do need income, so we'll see. I mean, I could certainly do a shift at Lowe's and a shift down there over a weekend. It's not a big deal. But I'd need something less intense during the week, I think. And by then they should have other people down there, so they already have a fourth person at night. So I may be like, okay, heading back to school pretty soon, so, you know, let's switch me to, like, weekends, or, like, if somebody calls off and they can't get anybody else, I'll come in. I'll do it that way, I think. 40-hour weeks salary. But inflation, the cost of living, inflation at least, has gone up so much, and yet your wages and your salaries have not followed that inflation. So you can't afford even to rent an apartment on just one 40-hour a week salary for one person, let alone support a family. This is just like basic root chakra shit, like just to survive. And I'm just like, you know, it's a temporary thing. Right? If we were just bartering for everything. But see, the rich elite do not want that because they would lose their status. Salary. Plus, of course, assistance. You know, getting food stamps and WIC. You know, but point is, I was making like 10 grand a year, and that was it. Now, his parents had bought the house and were renting to us, and sometimes I could make a rent payment, sometimes I couldn't, but it wasn't an issue. You know? Yeah. If we were just living off the land, we'd be good. But it's funny, like, get into the cycle of getting a job to, you know, get ahead, and then you need a car to get to the job, so you work in the job to pay for the car, to get to the job to pay for the... Yeah. Once you get into that, it's really hard to break free of it and maintain some sense of stability. Like, we even looked at cars today, and the thing is, I can't get a car loan unless I would go to a dealership. This guy doesn't do financing, but is like a family friend. You know, we trust him. It's just we'd have to pay outright, which means a personal loan. And my mother's credit is better than mine, but we'd have to, like, co-sign. So it's just like, well, we can try. If it doesn't work out, then something else will have to happen. Yeah. Like, once you get into it, though, that you're locked into it, pretty much. Like, if we could afford a place without having a job, like, if we could just build a house, like, go pick a spot and build a house from the materials there, or barter and all that stuff, we'd all be better off. But and that's years off. That kind of a shift in energy is years off, unfortunately. I mean, for the collective. Yeah, it's kind of, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna, like, stress myself out over this stuff. If it's meant to work out in a certain way, it will. I will try. I won't just be like, it's not worth trying. Just, okay, let's try this. It doesn't work? Okay, well, it's not meant to. You know? Granted, right now is probably not the best time to be doing it. But try a couple methods of borrowing the money and all that. It's like, still be a little bit dependent because she's co-signing, but it will still allow me to have my freedom if I need to get the hell out of here. Yeah. I mean, it's entirely possible, especially with the death throes of the elite. They could be really screwing up in, desperation to maintain their stability. They could actually throw it off more. Kind of like I was learning about why it's not as healthy to feed the Venus flytrap with a dead animal, because it may not fully digest it because it's not struggling. The more the bug struggles, the faster it will digest it, the more completely it will digest it, because it's triggering the nervous system to send more of the, forget what it's called, the chemical. But if you feed it something dead, at least it's eating, but it's not going to send as many impulses to feed it, So it's like the harder you struggle to fight the universe's energies, the more it's going to push to correct it. If that makes any sense. But that's just kind of the feeling I got when I was reading about my little plant. If any of you are curious to see it eating, I actually got a video of it and I posted it a couple days ago. Yes, it can count. It's creepy, but yeah, I named it Seymour as a reference to Little Shop of Horrors. I've fed it twice now. When I transferred into the peat moss out of its container that came in, I actually got some dirt in some of the traps, and they're just like trying to eat the dirt. I'm like, no, doofus. But it's alright. It's got a good sized fly that's eating right now. So, and it actually was still half alive. Like, I stunned it this time, and it looked dead, but there's a couple of its legs sticking out, so I know that it actually struggled. It like kind of woke up and struggled, so it like really latched onto it this time. The first time I fed it, it was just to wake it up because it was dormant, and I gave it like a dead fruit fly. It gave up after a day. Like, it opened and dropped it out. Like, this is dead. It's like, you woke me up for this. I did not realize they are so fussy. Like, you can't use fertilized soil on them, because that will actually kill them. They like acidic environments instead of alkaline. You can't use tap water to water them. It has to be distilled or rainwater. And, you have to make sure they're not buried too deep in the peat moss either, because it can actually kill it off that way, because you have to make sure the center part is exposed. But if it goes to flower, it that's a whole nother issue, unless you know how to properly propagate it. They say don't let it flower. You gotta cut those parts out without damaging the feeding part. I'm like, what? This sounds more fussy than the roses. Everyone's like, oh, roses are picky. My roses, other than the Japanese beetles have not been bad. Like, I just plopped one in the ground and it just started growing. I really haven't done anything until recently to compensate for the damage. I finally put some rose food on them, but for the most part, I'm just like, just plop them in whatever and make sure they stay watered and everything's good. So, this thing, it has to have 12 hours of sunlight. Like, how the hell? I mean, obviously, like, during the summer, but when I get back from work, I put it outside. Before I leave for work, I bring it back in, and, I'm thinking over the winter I'll have to get a grow light for it so it stays awake and doesn't go dormant, because it's a little easier to maintain it if I keep, awake. It's really hard if they go dormant. So, I don't know. We'll see. There's quite a few little leaves on there. A couple of them are missing the traps. A couple of them are closed right now. And one won't close anymore, so I think it's done. It's just doing the photosynthesis thing. But I've tried triggering it several times and it won't close. So that one will probably be the first one to fall off. I guess they cycle through them. They just grow another one. I'm like, oh, okay. They can eat it like half a dozen times maybe. And then they just grow another stem and start over. But it's got 9 or 10, which is actually a good number. I've read that most of them have like 7 at one time. So as long as I keep it going, it should be fine. Just I didn't realize how damn picky it is. Like, it cannot eat anything hard-shelled. Yeah, it's each leaf dies off, and then it grows another one. But they can live for like 20 years. So it's like constantly renewing itself. But yeah, it can't eat certain things. Like lightning bugs will kill it. Anything that's too big or it can't close completely can make it get a bacterial infection. It can't eat anything with a hard shell. Anything like a caterpillar, a moth, or a butterfly. Like, caterpillars will eat their way out. A couple other things will eat their way out. A moth or a butterfly, the powder on their wings will actually kill it. It's just like, what? So literally like ants and flies. Like, there's not much it can eat. Like, I don't know, maybe those little tiny bees. They're fascinating. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I know it's probably going to be the hardest one to keep healthy, just because of all these little things I have to watch. I gotta get some distilled water to water it with. I did put a little tap water in when I first planted it, and it's alright. But you keep doing that, and either the chlorine will kill it, or it'll build up too many minerals in the roots, which means it won't eat, and which will just lead to it dying. So it has to be like pretty bland soil, because it pulls the nitrogen and phosphorus out of the bugs. So if it's in the soil, it won't eat. We have spring water, but I don't know how much stuff is in the spring water. Like, it would probably be better than tap water because there's no chlorine in it. But, it's been getting rainwater, so I'm pretty sure the other stuff is dissipated for the most part, and it's getting the rainwater, so. And so far, it looks pretty healthy. I'm just waiting for the ones that closed because of being repotted to open back up so I can feed those. I should probably try to set it up like I do with this on top of some cards. That way I'm not trying to hold something with one hand and feed it with the other. They are fascinating. I don't know why mine's all green. It might be a weird variety. Or maybe it's just because it's so young, because it's really tiny. Like, the traps are about the size of my fingernails. And I guess most of them only get to about an inch. Like, seriously? I've seen the ones in the wild get pretty damn big. If I can figure out a way to make it grow bigger, it'd be awesome. Because I'd love to feed it something bigger. I actually had one bug try to crawl into the trap, but it was the one that wouldn't close. And it, like, sat right in the trap. I'm just like, dude, if only you'd climbed in the other one. Like, voluntarily. I kept trying to get it out of that trap and into another one. And, it managed to escape the one, but it had closed by then. And I'm just like, damn it. And it hasn't reopened, so I don't know if it has, like, a leg or something that it dropped in there. Like, random pieces. But, I mean, they're smart enough to know whether or not there's something edible in there. So I guess the peat moss might have whatever they need. Like, it's enhanced peat moss, not just straight up peat moss, so it might have what it needs. Oh my god, every time I transplant stuff in the mulch, there's worms everywhere. Plus, now, one of the plants that I had gotten off clearance has little snails. And so far, they've only gone after the basil. But I put a bunch of them in with the, like they were in the dirt that I put in with the petunias. Like these tiny, tiny little snails. I accidentally squished one. I thought it was like a rock. And then I was like, ooh, it's squished, and I realized it was a snail. I felt bad. But I'm like, wait a second. If they're going to be a pest too, like I'm already dealing with the Japanese ones, the Japanese beetles. I don't need snails eating my food too. Because I really should have probably harvested the basil before it went to seed. Like, I think I'll probably take the flowers off of it and plant some inside just so it stays safe. Because if I can't get rid of the beetles, it's going to eat all of that stuff. I already had to replace my curly parsley twice because it drowned. Curly parsley is picky. Apparently it likes dry. Prefers dry soil. I don't know. Some of the stuff likes it wetter than others. Gold ones. I don't know, the Japanese ones are like copper colored on their shell, and then the weird iridescent green in other areas. And their legs are spotted black and white. I've had them flip me off. Like, if they see you leaning over the plant, they'll lift one of the legs up, and it's like either they're waving or like flipping you off, and I'm just like, what the hell? I was so mad the first morning that I discovered one on after I'd done the treatment I thought was going to work, and I saw one, and I'm just like, you little bastard. And he lifts his little leg up, and I'm just like, are you flipping me off? I mean, all the beetles are going to eat stuff, but the Japanese ones just are really hard to get rid of. I don't mind them eating a little bit, but they're like destroying stuff. It's just like, dude, go eat the flowers of the neighbors. The ones that said no more bird feeder. They deserve to have their flowers eaten, not me. Yeah, yeah, he probably was. And I didn't have my phone on me, so I didn't get a picture of it, but it would have been funny to see that. Like, bug just gone. Yeah, whatever, human. I mean, I did get them off and squished them. It's like, if you go to town on my plants to the point where you're destroying them, we're going to have issues. If you just have a little snack here and there, that's one thing, but nah. They're eating way too much, so I flicked them off the plant and I squished them. Like, die, bastard. I was hoping the Venus flytrap could eat them, but not with the shell on. I mean, I could probably, like, squish them and, rip the shell off, but that seems like too much like work. Plus, they're way too big right now. I said something like a third of the size of the trap is about the limit. Otherwise, it doesn't close properly. I gotta find other stuff to feed them. My mother's like, well, if I see an ant, I will try to get it and put it in there. Like, she's all excited about feeding it. Kind of weird. Like, we got a fly in the house that's zooming around, but there isn't a trap that's open right now for it to land in. It would probably be too big anyways, because it's a full-size housefly. The seabird's just a baby. Just a little baby. But not bad for $5. Pretty fascinating little plant for $5. I'll try to do a video every time it eats something. I'm not sure. It might work, but Ubasti and her spirit guide grandfather, who used to be really good with plants, said try white vinegar diluted, or apple cider vinegar. So I'm gonna try that. And I can spray the vinegar on the Venus flytrap too. Not that they've gone after it yet. But I don't think they will either. They seem to be staying away from it. They're probably too smart for that. No, they're weird. They're very weird beetles. Like, they can eat tobacco, and nicotine is supposed to be an insecticide. They'll eat poison ivy, even. Yeah, it's gotta be really diluted. I'll do it, like, at night, so that it absorbs. By the time the sun comes up, it's not gonna be wet on there. And this DEET-based spray that, or not DEET, what the fuck is it? Neem oil based spray that I got. It's for organic farming. It kind of burns the edges of the leaves and the blooms a little bit, but not that bad. So, it works to a point. Like, it'll kill the beetle if you spray it directly. But by then, they've already eaten a little bit, so I want something that completely deters them. I gotta find something that works, because I'm tired of fighting them every morning and evening. I think next time I do like an herb garden, I'm gonna get a net over it so nothing can do that. And I mean, the herbs don't need to be whatever, they've gone to seed, unfortunately, so at least some of them have. But yeah, I'm gonna get a net next time for my herbs. But now that there's already stuff in there, it might be laying eggs in the soil, so I wouldn't want to trap it in there anyways. But next time, I'll get fresh soil and put a net over all the herbs. I'd do it with the rose, but I'm pretty sure, fairly certain, because it hit that rose in a pot first, that's where they came from. They were probably in the soil of that. So I should probably ditch that soil entirely and repot it when it starts to recover with fresh soil. Yeah, I could. I wonder. They were saying something about beneficial nematodes, but I think those are harder to find. But I wonder if they'd have a praying mantis at the pet store. I mean, I would hope he would stick around. There's plenty there. Yeah, that's an awesome idea. Like, I've seen them too. Down in South Carolina, there was a pregnant one. It was so weird. Like, this one guy I was hooking up with, his power animal was praying mantis. Very, very strange. But, yeah, maybe I should see. The one lady that runs the pet store that's in the same area as Lowe's comes in Lowe's all the time, so I'll ask her. Plus, praying mantis is pretty cool. I saw one like years ago when I was living in downtown here too. He just kind of sat on the railing, like chilling. Should I get one for each of the plants? Like, if I put one in the herb garden and then one on the rose, do you think that would work? Like, I know they'd crawl around a little bit, but there's enough plants on the porch that would need more than one. I just don't want to get a ton of them. I'll have to see how much those things cost, if I can find it in a pet store or what. I mean, we've got little spiders here and there. If I have to get some other stuff, a batch of praying mantises. Like, the ones that really like Japanese beetles would be awesome. See, then it could kind of be like a pet, and I could give them names. If I get enough of them, maybe, end up breeding them and then be like, yeah, anyone that has bugs in their garden can buy some from me. I mean, the initial purchase obviously is necessary, but The less I have to rely on chemicals, the better. Plus, I've got a fairy garden out there, and, asking the fairies for help, but I have to finish and get their little gazing ball in there. Because I bought what I thought was an obsidian, put it out there. Larry the butterfly. That's awesome. There was a little white one that was flitting around. But my mother said the one day she was watching, a monarch came to the foxglove that I got. I got the foxglove hoping that we'd get butterflies and hummingbirds, because hummingbirds likes the foxglove. It's thriving. I haven't done much to it. But it was only half blooming when I got it, and it's got so many little buds on it. I had to buy a support stick for it. But I said hi to the little white butterfly. Yeah, I tried feeding it. The one stopped by on a day that I had forgotten to refill it because the raccoons would keep dumping it out at night. I don't know if they were just knocking it over or if they were actually drinking it, but... Hey, Lanny. Yeah, we've got plenty of little tiny bees. Those really, really tiny little bees are all over the flowers out there. Haven't really seen too many bumblebees, but thanks for coming, Ange. Definitely keep you updated on when I see crows. Get some rest, though. I'll be back Sunday night, and I'll be at TL's live. So, yep, lots of stuff going on. Back, Queen. Would you like a card pulled for you? I need to get Reiki attuned so I can start using that too. I mean, I can get rid of people's headaches and stuff, but... Okay. Well, of course he's hot. I mean, I know mine is. But it's kind of funny, Queen. Like, I used to say I wasn't into guys with too many muscles. And he's, like, military fit. So, like, other women are gonna be drooling over him. And I'll just be like, hands off, that's mine. Oh, yeah. He's Greek and Irish, so he's got good combination. Like, whew. Plus, he's well hung. Like, I was never into muscly guys, ever. Like, I like the skinny, nerdy kind, and... he's so not my type. It's so funny. I don't know, he says he's not very fit anymore because he's not working out as much. Like, he had to stay very, very fit for his job, so now he's kind of letting himself go. He's like, I've gained 15 pounds. I'm like, dude, like, for real. Let's have a card for Queen. Come on. Alright, I'll be back on Sunday, hun. Building blocks. Kind of hard to see. But it kind of looks like books with little book markers sticking out of it. Although it's actually like apartment buildings or something. But it kind of, first glance almost looks like books. But, oh yeah, you have the deck, don't you, Queen? That's card 28. Building blocks. So yeah, something is building up. That's a good thing. I just want to have a day where I can kind of just chill with him. But apparently I needed sleep more than I needed anything else today. Plus, we both got nervous. Like, it was so weird when I was like, okay, I'm doing this today. I got nervous. I'm like, it's funny. Cherry was talking to me and she's like, yeah, I feel it. Like, I wasn't even feeling it that much. So I was like picking up on him. Like, why the fuck would he be nervous? I mean, he's hot as fuck. Who, Christina? Oh, he's about an hour away. He lives south of Pittsburgh with the family of the guy he rescued. They took him in. Oh, I know he's like spied on me. I don't know entirely in person, obviously, just can remote view and stuff. But yeah, he would have been close enough if he was able to do that today. He thought I needed some sleep, and I think he's nervous about being around me in person. Because, the chemistry is going to be ridiculous, and he doesn't want to risk anything. I'm like, well, I mean, if we're nervous, then I doubt anything's going to happen. Like, it'd probably be like awkward silence and shit. But yeah, now that I've actually followed through and filed the divorce papers, I'm like, okay, time to come visit me. And he's just like, nah, you need sleep. Plus, I would have been alone at home, and that would have been like Yep. Like, I don't get why he's freaking out. Like, it doesn't make any sense. If anything, I should be the one, like, freaking out. I mean, I'm a hot mess. Emphasis on mess. Yeah, I was just kind of annoyed. I'm like, fine, you know. You said you'd come. It's like, I was really annoyed at him. Like, you said you'd come see me as soon as I filed. He's like, yeah, but you don't feel like going anywhere. Because I look like a hot mess. I wouldn't want to be out in public, and he doesn't want to be alone with me because of that. You know? Because we might do things we shouldn't be doing. So, I don't know. And it's just so weird. As soon as I said, okay, well, I'm filing today, like, boom, it hit me. And I bring it up again, and I feel it again. Like, as soon as I bring it up, like, I've kept my end of the bargain finally. And now he's freaking out. Like, what the fuck, dude? And, like, I could hear him talking to his, brother of sorts. He's like, yeah, I really want to go see her, but, you can tell he was, like, straight up fucking freaking out. His brother was just kind of laughing. I'm like, dude, how long have you been waiting to be with her, and now you're being, like, ridiculous about it? Like, he was giving him a hard time. He's like, but you don't understand. I didn't watch Twin Flame Revolution's last video yet. I was in a cranky mood when he's like, no, you need to sleep, so I'm not gonna come today. And I was just like cranky and didn't want to deal with that. I'm just like, fuck this Twin Flame shit. And Vika, I'm just pulling single Oracle cards off of my Wisdom of the Oracle deck tonight. Don't know, I just felt drawn to pull these out. I had to go get them inside. Like, I haven't seen them in a while. I was gonna just pull for me and... Let me see what I get for you, though. Really? This one? Are we sure? Okay. Time to go. Okay, the card number is 45, which adds up to a 9, and nines are endings. I don't know, Queen. I think it has something to do with soul growth, learning lessons. But, Ambika, the 9 is about endings. So card number 45 adds up to 9. That's endings. Time to go. It means there's something, a situation you need to leave, or a person that needs to be escorted out of your life. So whatever that is, they're reminding you that the timing now is really good for closing out old cycles. The eclipse energy and Mercury retrograde are really, really good for those things. Anything you want to add, Queen, since you have the deck too? Pretty much it lines up with the timing of the eclipse and Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is, complicates things, but when it comes to things of closing out old cycles, getting closure on things, and ending stuff, well, if you're asking about your love life, then you must have some sort of energetic ties to someone from your past. Like emotional baggage to get rid of, or a person to finally cut out of your life once and for all before anything new. Because if you have an energetic tie to someone karmic, nobody new can come in. That was the whole thing for me. Like today I finally filed for divorce, and the numerology just lined up, like the number for the day we got married and today, like it lined up because it was both 11s. Yeah. Okay, just because you're single, I mean, I've been considering myself single for a while, but I've still had a legal tie to my ex, You could be. Well, Mercury retrograde also brings people forward that you have to resolve anything with. If the person is talking to you, there might be some things to resolve. Yes, synchronicity. Beauty in the Brain Room. I love that name. Makes me think of a scientist that has a bunch of brains in jars, but, she's gorgeous or something. Looking all, like, sexy in a lab coat. That's just the image I'm getting. And because if you want a more in-depth relationship or energy reading, involving someone else, you can send me a donation on my PayPal, and I can do a more in-depth full tarot spread and some oracle cards to clarify. If you send me, if you know at least their sun sign, give me the information on that when you send it, just in the description box. Give me your sun signs and stuff. Yeah, you gotta close out old stuff. Yep. New beginnings are good. But yeah, so many people are walking around here with so much emotional baggage, they don't even realize it. Like, you may have been single for a while, but you still have these energetic ties, especially if you've been intimate with anybody. Got some things to settle then, Queen. Or they're testing you. I mean, the universe will test you. Be like, here's one last test before we give you what you've been working towards. And I know, like, all the minor obstacles today for me were like, I could have been like, I am too tired to deal with this, and been like, fuck it, I'll deal with it later, put it off. But I was like, no, I'm getting this shit done today. And, lately with nitpickiness and little tension at work, like, not as bad as it was at the first eclipse, but it's like, am I gonna react, or am I just gonna, like, make note of what they said, and then try to perform better next time without getting like emotionally involved about it. It can be. I mean, these eclipses are just nuts, anyways, but especially if they hit something important for you. He pokes the bear. Some people are just here to annoy us. Test our patience. But poking the bear is so much fun. Well, that's just too damn bad. That's not his choice. Like, that's funny, when I have my doubts and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna give up. Jason isn't even about, like, he's possessive to a point, but he's like, you know what? You have free will, and I'm not going to try to control you. If you choose to walk away, then that is your choice. I'm not going to pull any, emotionally manipulative bullshit on you just to try to keep you around. Like, I am not going to keep you from choosing your own free will. And I'm just like, but you're supposed to fight for me. It's like, no, I'm not going to control you when it comes to, choosing your life path. Like, yeah, he might order me to go get some rest because it's for, for my own good, but, toxic people are the ones that try to control other people. Okay, Christina. I hope you can be around Sunday. Like, I don't know if I'll try to get on before TL's live, but I can't remember if I have one or two jobs Monday. I think it's just one. So I should be able to do my after party for a little bit at least. Queen, I don't know what to tell you. If he wasn't seeing someone, then I would say he just hasn't moved on, but my god, he's just ridiculous. Like, if you're seeing somebody else, you don't need to worry about what your ex is doing. Like, even if you aren't seeing anybody else, it's none of your damn business what your ex is doing. Okay, good, hun. I don't understand. Like, some people are just fucking. I don't know. I don't understand this whole thing of, like, owning people and trying to dictate other people's lives for them. Like, even if you have good intentions, like, it's still their life, And feeling like you have the right to tell them what to do with their life is just. Just feel bad for the other person, Queen. That's all I can say. Like, karmic soulmate, maybe. I don't know. And we can have some seriously annoying connections with people who are karmic soulmates. And even if you're in one of those dom sub relationships, you still have the right to choose things. And you have the right to have limits. You know, you don't completely own, even the whole slave thing. Some people were into the slave lifestyle, that level of Dom sub, but it's just stupid. Like, to think you can dictate someone else's life, like every little aspect, especially personal life. Like, shit. Yeah. Like, he knows he fucked up, but he isn't emotionally mature enough to say, sorry, I fucked up. He wants you as backup. Like, that's just fucked up. For you, for him, for the other person, it's just, nah, dude. So that's part of the thing that I worry about. I'm like, things are wonderful 5D, but, like, what if the 3D doesn't work out? Like, holy shit, but I'm not trying to be, like, controlling everything. People who do that just drive me nuts. I just pulled TikTok card 30. I don't know if that means be patient or something's about to hit off. It's like divine timing, obviously, but, you know, is it divine time or is it not divine time? And as I'm asking that, he decides to be a smartass. It's always now. There is no time but now. Fuck you. Oh. Time is an illusion. It is always now. Ah! I mean, it would be nice to have a visit before the crazy week where I get so completely fucking drained. Like, this is probably the easiest weekend I will have in a while. The clock is a bomb. Ticking time bomb. Explosion? I mean, I can think of some good explosions I'd like to experience, but I think that's gotta wait. Floor card. I don't even care about that, honestly. I just want to spend some time with him in person and be like, okay, I'm not fucking nuts. I haven't been imagining things. And, like, yeah, this could work in 3D and not just be, like, the 5D. You know? Like, it would be cool if he wants to take me on real dates and shit. Totally okay with that idea. But I am not picky. Like, let's just spend some time together. And talk in person with, like, real words instead of in our heads. Because there's still the possibility of miscommunication, even with telepathy. Ah. I got clean it up, so maybe I should make my room less of a fucking mess. I don't know, I haven't figured out entirely what was the nervousness was about today. And it's not like I'm gonna be like, nah, just leave me alone after all this shit now. I'm certainly not gonna reject him, come on. But seriously, I just been like, can we just do this thing already? Now that I finally, did what I need to do, I need to uphold your end of the bargain. Like, don't make me wait until everything's resolved to come around. Because we made that compromise. At first, he's like, no, not until it's finalized. And I'm like, no, come on. That could take forever. I mean, it's not going to, but at least I put things in motion, you know? It just has to be signed for and then decided. And there should be no objections. So, hopefully it won't take that long. Like, I was worried about his family throwing a hissy fit and being like, you should support him because that's what you did whenever you were married, and that was a stupid thing to worry. And I don't think his mother's going to let him just sit there and ignore the letter and not file his response, because she was thinking about that. So, I guess she might have had a premonition on it. She'd be like, light a fire under his ass, get him to sign and turn that in, and she's not contesting it. I think it should be done within a few weeks. Holy crap, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. If I was at work, I'd be putting all the laundry away. Well, hanging it outside their doors. It's raining again. It's finally cooling off. It was so hot and humid today, it was ridiculous. I spent way too much time in the sun and the heat. The AC doesn't work in the van. But, interestingly enough, the passenger window, which hasn't gone up or down in months, finally moved today. I found out accidentally. It's been stuck and we thought the motor would need replaced, but it's suddenly unstuck. So I got a little bit of a breeze driving around. There's a love. I wish I could figure out what it was. Yeah. If it didn't keep raining and sprinkling, I would be on the front porch. A little bit of a breeze. The neighbors' wind chimes are going off. Critter, what are you? Well, I'm gonna close this out and see if I can watch some readings.